Dover Castle. That's a view from the outside. That's the ticket house and a view of Dover town. This Dover Castle has over the years played a vital role in the protection of England against the French. In fact, it played an important role as early as the Second World War, when it had a vital role as a lot of the invasion against Germany was led from Dover. In fact, there are a lot of Imperial War tunnels inside, which we'll go on a tour. As you walk in, on the left hand side, that is, you have the medieval tunnels and the circular route and battlements walk. On the right you have the secret wartime tunnels, Nafi Restaurant, circular route, Admiralty Lookout, the Roman lighthouse and the Saxon church. That's the plan of the castle. You can see the Roman lighthouse and Saxon church over there. Medieval tunnels are over here, and that's Henry II's keep and keep yard. These are the secret wartime tunnels. That's the Admiralty Lookout, the battlements walk. That is how plan of the castle looks, overlooking the Dover port. It's really at a very advantage point. One must appreciate the location of this particular castle. Pharos, as it used to be called. You remember the Pharos of Alexandria. This is one of the Roman lighthouse dating back to the 1st century. There it is, standing straight. These are the lookout posts. Probably the sailors could see the light from those windows. And that's the Church of St. Mary's. That is how the inside of the lighthouse looks like. It's more than 2,000 years old. Hardly imagine seeing a structure built today 2,000 years later. Church right next to the lighthouse dates back to 1000 AD. Another view of the inside of the fort. That's the way to the Admiralty Lookout. The entrance to this yard has a drawbridge which could be pulled up to close the doors of the castle to intruders. Just going right in. That's the palace gate through which we have been. This is the keep yard. Wonder why it's called keep yard. Education Center, King's Gate, exit to the underground works, restaurant, keep entrance, souvenir shop. This is where we are. Palace Gate through which we came. Red Regiment. Authors Hall, Film Center. That's the entrance to the keep. An exhibition on Henry II, who built it. The well, which used to be the source of the water supply for this castle, for the keep in particular. Now, Dover Castle had its own pipe water supply. That's strange, interesting. 300-400 years ago, you're talking of piped water supply. Bedroom of King Henry. View of the court on the move. King Henry used to hold his court here when he came visiting to Dover Castle. Inside the wall passage, which was meant for air and ventilation, and some amount of lights as well through these windows. As you can see, the walls were made of stone and probably mud and limestone. A view from the roof of the keep. Amazing views of the meadows, sheep grazing. That's the Fitzwilliam Gate, which was inserted into the outer curtain wall after the French attack in 1216. And this gun battery was installed in 1755 to cover the high ground to the east. And in the distance is the Coast Guard station. You can see the view of the Union Jack fluttering. That's when the inner bailey was built, although most of the garrison buildings are mid-18th century. That's another view of the keep yard. Again, there's a drawbridge which closes off this part. And that's the way to the medieval tunnels. Outer defense to the King's Gate. So there's actually three layers of defense, because we are just crossing the second one. Then you have the third one. We are now inside the medieval tunnels, which lead inside the fort from the outside. So these are secret tunnels which an invader would not know about. To give you an idea of how deep the tunnels are, how deep they go into, probably these are 3 to 4 floors. There you can see people coming up from the lower levels. We are inside the St. John's Towers, which was built in 1220s and modified in 1755. These are the cannons which are there, number of them, dating back to the mid-1750s. That's Ronald Bertram Ramsay, the British Army General during World War II. I'm about to enter the wartime tunnels used during the World War II to plan the Normandy invasion. That's the map.
That's right. No, you've got some for James.
Okay, no games for you.
About to enter the tunnels.
Look all the way up there. Mom.
Yeah, no problem. Just round to the
And inside the secret wartime tunnels. Unfortunately, photography is not allowed over there. And neither is still photography allowed. The way the ambulances would arrive and then stop there for entrance into the hospital, which is the annex C level of the tunnels, and that's the entrance to that. That's the plan of Dover Harbour. That's the eastern entrance, eastern arm, ferry port restricted area. The two piers, the East Buoy, Pellet Buoy. Today I have made my way to the Kew Gardens, which is the botanical gardens on the outskirts of London. That's the Victoria Gate, entrance into the Kew Gardens. I've just stepped into the Kew Gardens. That's the entrance. View of the gardens. Inside the Palm House, which houses flora from the different continents, particularly from the tropical region. Inside it's very hot. Temperature can be seen there. I'm right now standing in front of the pepper. As it says, it's a native of India. The vastness of the Kew Gardens is evident. For yards together you can see the ground. Beautiful lawns on all sides. the temperate house, and as the name denotes, it's a house for plants from the temperate zone of the earth. There's one aircraft landing at the airport. The Heathrow airport is quite close. It reminds me of our very own botanical gardens at Shibpur. There's the story of the temperate house, which was built by Decimus Burton around between 1860 and 1899. That's the plan. As you can see, the house is beautiful flowers. That's the story of this huge palm tree. That's a pagoda inside the gardens, which has two cameras right at the top. There they are, revolving cameras which give you a good view of the Kew Gardens and as well as of the London skyline. You can see the London Eye, the Barbican, the Gherkin and other sights from here. That's Chokushi Mon, or the gateway of the Imperial Messenger. It's actually a replica of the original one which was built in Kyoto as part of the Japanese-British exhibition held in London in 1910. See the decorations on the gate, which is actually a door. Top is made of copper apparently, but the original one had cider wood. That's the plan of the garden. View of the garden. So that's the stone circle, which I can see here from the top, which is known as High Kews, which gives you a lovely view of the Kew Garden, a bird's eye view rather, high among the trees, similar to something we have seen in what was the name of the, I remember, Lonegao. Some specimens of the different trees: beech, chestnut, coastal redwood, giant redwood, oak, monkey puzzle. Beech, monkey puzzle, oak, giant redwood, yew, coastal redwood. That's the monkey puzzle. This is the evolution house, which traces the evolution of flora and fauna, mainly flora, 3,500 million years ago.
Our expeditions. Life has begun. Simple cells appear in oceans and lakes.
And this is only 100 million years ago. Footprints of dinosaurs. Very nice way to learn about the evolution and nature.
Now, visibility of the plate between the ground above.
Series of plaques which mention the military campaigns, mention of India, Delhi. 1799 Seringapatam, which is Tipu Sultan. Bangalore, 1791. All these talk about the military expeditions during the rule of King William. Children's playground called Creepers and Climbers. You have all activities and play area for the children. That's the house that was built in 1637. In the foreground you have the flower beds, which is called the language of flowers. There are varieties of flowers, among them different varieties of sunflower. This is just on the path of the runway to Heathrow. You can see frequent aircrafts. That's a creation in oak wood on display here. It's just at the top of a small hill here among the garden. Very nice. This is where that time capsule is. And it's now time for the next aircraft. An example of a pagoda tree. This is flora of the moist tropics. It's raining over there. Today it's the water system spraying water onto the trees. That's the Melonia hybrid. This one is about orchids. Different varieties of orchids. Giant water lily. This explains the 4 methods of trapping. The snap traps, pitfall traps, the snap close, that's the one. That's the desert flora. It looks as if you are transported to another region of the world. Another view of the Princess of Wales Conservatory with the rock garden in the foreground. Festival at Jubilee Gardens, right next to London Eye. The festivities have begun. Brixton Special! Special!
with the jump and scat. We even gonna do the jive. We gonna Lindy up
Night Bazaar. Various items. Some for £3, some for £5.
Yeah, Randy's next. That's cool.
Bustling market. Night Bazaar. Looks like Diwali lights. The name sounds very Indian. Pachamama. The night carnival in progress at the Thames Festival. That's Oxo Tower, adjacent to the Black Friars Bridge. And next to it is the merry-go-round. Lots of lights. And then you have the food stalls lining the Thames. Right up to this side, which is the Waterloo Bridge. And then it continues over till the London Eye, where the Jubilee Gardens is. Here you have a bunch of eating joints. That's Caribbean food. Travelers enjoying the music. You can see the London Eye looming large above.
Can't take my eyes off you.
View of the night bazaar. There are food stalls on the right hand side, and on the left hand side there are small shops selling miscellaneous items, mostly jewelry. Castle Tower. Marylebone Station, 25th of September. I'm on my way to the Warwick Castle and Stratford-upon-Avon, the birthplace of Shakespeare. I'll be departing by the 7:40 train to Birmingham High Street and get change at Warwick Station. I've got a combined ticket. Time now is 7:23. That's the train. The platform hasn't been announced yet. That's the one going to Aylesbury. There are other trains as well. There's one train arriving, probably this will be the one. That's the Marylebone Station. Rail services, and that's the Marylebone Underground Station. That's the announcement. The train has started out sharp at 7:40. Princess Reesborough. I'm now standing on the roads of Warwick. Warwick is a very pretty place. That's the first impression that I get. That's one of the 3 gates that lead to the Warwick city, or town rather, and which leads into the castle. The castle is on the way behind me. We shall soon be there. You can see the shops. And that's the road which leads to the castle. That's the history of the Collegiate Church of St. Mary. The church choir is practicing now for the forthcoming music festival. Beautiful one. outside of the church. I'm standing on the church street. That's the Tourist Information Center en route to the castle. This is the Kingmaker show. One of the displays. Ironmonger at work. Preparing for the battle. Carpenter. He came in through those gates of the Warwick Castle. That's the Barbican. That's the tower, the Guy Tower. And you can see the inside. There's a lush green lawn. And there's another viewpoint up there. I'm now standing on the mound, which is at a height above the Warwick Castle. This was fortified in 1068 by William the Conqueror, and the stone keep was built in the year 1260. There beyond you can see the huge trees, forests, and just by among the trees flows the River Avon, which passes through Stratford, the birthplace of William Shakespeare. In the distance you can see the hunting lodge of the Earl of Warwickshire, and in the foreground that's the boathouse, and in the distance you can see the Cotswold Hills, which is around 20 kilometers from here. The beautiful Cotswold Hills. That's another view. As I stand on the mount facing inside the castle, let me take you around the main parts of the castle. The one that you see, that's the gatehouse and the Barbican. Left is the Guy's Tower, and on the right of the Barbican, that's the Caesar Tower. These are all viewpoints. In front of Caesar Tower, right next to it, is the Royal Weekend Party. And then you have the chapel, Great Hall, and the staterooms. That's the mound on which I had been a few minutes back. And now on top of the Guy's Tower, there are close to 100 steps which lead up right to the top. And I'm still panting, although I came up 5 minutes before. That's the state apartments and the chapel. That's the Barbican and the Caesar's Tower. Tennis practice in progress at the Warwick courts. You can hear the bells tolling. That's from the East Gate. That's the East Gate, one of the 3 gates to the entrance of Warwick. And that's the view of the St. Mary's Church, where I had been earlier. The flag fluttering towards the Guy's Tower, and a view of the tower. Once it had remarkable importance, but now it's hardly of any use other than for viewing. The bridge across the River Avon. And here you have the mill and the engine room, which produces electricity for the castle. There you can see a very pretty garden. And a good view from the Caesar Tower.
No, be careful.
That's Edward, Prince of Wales, the heir apparent, who became the king after Elizabeth I, and that's Lord Curzon, the Viceroy of India during the division of Bengal, during the partition of Bengal.
Así le voy a ver de matemáticas y voy a subrayar. Así le voy a foto.
Oh right, have you been all around here? Yeah. Right, the exit.
That's the way through which we came out. That's also the way to go in. The Barbican and the Caesar Tower can be seen. There's also the gate. That's the Warwick Railway station. It's the pair of platforms. Beautiful flowers. Station. That's way to Oxford.
Walks and an orchard walk there. But this was always a farm called Hewland.
Inside Anne Hathaway's cottage. This was the place where Anne lived, and Shakespeare quoted her. When they got married, Anne was 26 years and 3 months pregnant, while Shakespeare was still a minor.
Well, our drovers would have been glad to be up on a ridge because it would have meant
Mary Arden was
rain would have drained off. It's a lovely looking country and an area where William Shakespeare bought himself a lot of land in the latter years of his life. Often afraid of, centred either in East Anglia or in the Cotswolds just south of here. Well, we've still got plenty of sheep round here, but as you can see, we've also, just in this corner, see the childhood home of Shakespeare's mother, Mary Arden. Now you'll have noticed she had the heiress. She was the youngest of Robert Arden's daughters and was still at home when he died. So she inherited a little bit of updating. His house over on the way from here to Birmingham. If I add to that the fact that these branches are aqueduct in the country, you'll understand why this little canal. That's on the house where
That's the birthplace of the great poet William Shakespeare.
Sonia,
Oh, I don't know. Somewhere.
I know you're John. Nothing to do with me. You're right, mate. We swim in it, it does. I'll eat it, but I'll eat it. No, I don't want it. John's given me 2 cakes. I'll eat it later. If I eat any more now, I should spoil my tea, so I can eat it, but...
And the chapel is in fact the King Edward VI Grammar School that William Shakespeare went to. And that brings us to our next Shakespeare property, which is Nasrid's house on the left here. Belonged was Shakespeare's home, New Place. You can see we're onto the market. And in the early 18th century was bought by the Reverend Francis Gastrell, a man who appears to have hated. He didn't want people to look at his house, and so he refused to pay any taxes on the house. Well, you can imagine he got very little sympathy to pay taxes on the house. He had it demolished. So we've got no Shakespeare. So we are quite close to the river here, the River Avon. All the word Avon means is river. So Stratford-on-Avon means the street to the ford on the river. And our actors don't want to come too far for a little drink after the show, and they don't have to because...
That's the Holy Trinity Church at Stratford-upon-Avon, where Shakespeare lies buried. I'd just been inside it. I came out of there. That's the Royal Shakespeare Company's theatre. You have a theatre like the Globe here, round stage. That's the Guild Chapel, and next door is the grammar school to which Shakespeare went. That's the town hall, and next door is another Tudor period house. Statue of William Shakespeare, created by Ronald Gower and hence known as the Gower Memorial. It has sayings on its all sides. And at the 4 corners of this memorial, you have the statues of 4 characters from Shakespeare's plays. This is Hamlet, Lady Macbeth, Falstaff, and Prince Hal. On all 4 sides, you have beautiful flowers. And the place around this memorial by the River Avon, it's boating on the canal which leads to River Avon. The water will slowly fill up, and we are at the same level as the water outside this gate, and then the boat will flow in to the canal on the side. That's the Royal Shakespeare Company by the canal. People boating. There you can see the swans. well laid out gardens. Another view of the canal bank. You have these boats which take you on a cruise down the River Avon, and in fact you can go down as far as Warwick on these. Beautiful gardens, lots of flowers, colorful flowers, which are a feast for your eyes. This is called the Old Red Lion Cove. Now it's a shopping arcade. You have nice shops here, all branded shops. I guess pretty expensive as well. Do your shopping. At the town center. This was a gift by George Child. As we saw before, the Parphone warehouse showroom is on fire and fire brigades are rushing. Very nice one. This is the oldest house in Stratford. It now requires props to keep it straight and up. Statue of the Jester. It was made by James Butler and unveiled by Lord Lieutenant of Warwickshire on 22nd July 1994. Some sayings of Shakespeare about fools and foolery. That's the way to Shakespeare's birthplace. That's the house. Now, once again, before leaving, I'll take a look at the garden inside the birthplace of Shakespeare. And what remains of the original house. Apparently this house was much bigger, but due to fire precautions, part of it had to be demolished. And this is the only one that remains, sadly. Next door is another Tudor style of cottage. It's very common in this town. That's the Stratford Victoria Hospital. Victoria Station to London, 2nd of October. Today I'm on my way to Leith Castle and from then to Canterbury. Right now I am inside the Victoria Station, which is one of the main terminus stations for trains, waiting for the train to be assigned to a platform. That's the departure announcement board. That's the entrance to the platforms 1 to 7, and there on the right hand side are the platforms 8 to 19. There's the W.H. Smith's shop. That's my train for today. some of the trains standing at the platform. Trains just departed. Huge platform, reminds you of the Howrah station at Kolkata. I've just walked onto the platforms. The train is now almost ready to depart from platform 4. That's the train. The rear part of this particular compartment is second class, whereas this one is first class. As you can see, it's a small cubicle with 3 easy, very nice, cozy seats. That's the train. People can put their cycles.
Tickets, please.
Inside the train. The station. Westgate. Train departing. Quite nice, cozy, very picture book like. You can hear the birds chirping. It's the station. That's the bus that will take us to the castle. The car park. People usually park their car and then take the train to London or wherever they have to go. Just standing at the entrance to the Leeds Castle. This is the Barbican and the water mill. It was built around 1360 when the castle was originally fortified. This was meant to make bread for the Lord. And it was also the place where the villagers used to come to have their grain ground. That's the view of castle from the outside. Waters and the lush green rolling meadow. Beautiful, very picturesque. That's the pavilion.
Thank you. Wait till those people move.
I went inside the castle, which was lastly owned by Lady Bailey. It was constructed in the 12th century, and in the 19th century it was mostly reconstructed because it was in very bad shape. Lush green lawns. It's very cloudy today. That's the cellar where currently you have wine stored. The wine is produced by the vineyards owned by Leeds Castle. It has around 500 acres of land. That's the set of eating places, the restaurants inside Leeds Castle, just by the side of this huge lake. And on the other side of the lake you have green grass, rolling fields, lovely. 500 acres of them. That really makes it wonderful. This is the Fairfax courtyard where you have the refreshment rooms. People enjoying a quick snack. This is the Culpeper's Garden, named after the 17th century owner of the Leeds Castle, the Culpepers. Lots of nice bright flowers. That's the vineyard, and just by the side you have the maze garden. Quite a maze. It does look very simple when you get into it, but then once you're inside, you tend to lose your way in, and that's it. Very nice. I'm inside what is known as the grotto, just below the maze garden. It's quite like a waterfall. You can hear the rushing sound of water. Ceiling has some decorations made out of stone and mud. Not very apparent because of low light. It's long, winding maze of underground tunnels. That's the Tough Maze, probably a miniature. They first did it here and then replicated it in that maze garden. This is called Wakenham Martins Centre. You have a playground for children, a view of the meadows and the lake. This is Lady Bailey's garden. Those are the golf greens. Another view of Leeds Castle from the outside. As you can make out, it's raining. Taking off in that unique V-shaped formation. There they go. I've resumed my train journey from Bursted to Canterbury West. It's the view. Wonderful countryside. Arrived at Canterbury. That's the Canterbury station, car park, and houses just outside the station. I shall soon be on my way to the Canterbury Cathedral. That's the west gate of the city. I'm standing on the Dunstan Road. On my left are a series of hotels like this one. That's the Falstaff Hotel, where you can get food and of course beer. This one is Shepherd Neame, Bishop's Finger. I wonder whether somebody had served Bishop's Finger here. I am now standing in front of the Christchurch Gate, as it is called, entrance to the cathedral, the famous Canterbury Cathedral. The cathedral became famous when the Archbishop, that's Thomas Becket, was murdered in the cathedral in 1170 AD. The intricate designs. Part of the Roman wall still surviving at Canterbury. There the wall goes. As you enter from the Christ Church gate, this is the first sight of the cathedral that greets you. Parts of the old building. That's the clock tower.
That is such a cool picture. At least this thing goes on. Picture. I want to get one of the whole thing. This is where Teddy's first day out was. Was it?
Church in existence since the 6th century. It's the oldest church, inhabited church in England. We have now come behind the cathedral, Canterbury Cathedral, just in front of the Roman wall. One went round the city of Canterbury. And behind me is the church, King's Church. So as you can see, the castle has a long history dating back to the 11th century. And right now I'm standing in front of what used to be called as the keep. Here is the view. It's in ruins now. That's the view of the keep ruins. That was the plan. Unfortunately, it's now in ruins. The details were incidents from Geoffrey Chaucer's famous Canterbury Tales are narrated here. These are more like animatronics. Today I'm on my way to Cambridge to the National Express service, the coach service, leaving Victoria Station. Starts at 9:30 and reaches Cambridge around 11:30. Beside M11, which leads to Cambridge from London. It's the view of the highway. On the left was A11. 3 lane. Right one is for taking I'm standing outside the gates of Christ Church College, Cambridge. This is the Great Gate, as it is called, which is one of the entrances into the college. As I step in through the Great Gate, on the left is the chapel. That's the Master's Lodge.
Hello, how are you?
That's the plan of the college. One of the oldest churches in Cambridge. We shall be going down that road. That's the view of the... I'm now standing in front of the famous King's College. That's the entrance. That's the chapel. Quite an impressive architecture. This is the visitor entrance to Queen's College. Very old. As I step inside the Queen's College, this is the old block of the college. See the sundial and a more regular watch. That's the bell. Today is the tomorrow is the term starting date. So there's a crowd of students and as well as their guardians. I'm standing inside the dining hall. Very richly decorated roof as well as the walls. This is just above the fireplace. I've just stepped out from the old block of Queen's College. This is called as the mathematical bridge, which joins the old block to the new block on the right hand side. Punting on the river is quite a pastime here. You can go on these boats for a ride on the river. There's another one approaching. The old Tudors. The lawns are beautiful. Stairs that lead up to Professor Hall and Dr. Millgate's office. This is the appointments board at the Queen's College. That's the awards and scholarships.
There's a chapel.
Here's another one.
Another 7 chapels.
Scale model of
There's
Cambridge.
another one.
8 chapels.
There's a round church.
9 chapels.
Right, come along.
10 chapels.
Besides writings, it also has braille on it to facilitate the blind people reading the scale model. Where is what at Cambridge? I'm standing at the Con Exchange Street, as it is called. That's supposed to be the Con Exchange, this building. One thing that you must have noticed is that the streets of Cambridge are extremely narrow. I'm standing in front of the historic Trinity College at Cambridge. Unfortunately, this is open to visit. This is closed to visitors today, being the Freshers' Weekend. That's the inside view of the college. The St. John's College. The richly decorated gate. If you have noticed, all these gates of the colleges are of a similar fashion. If it spires in Oxford, it is these gates at Cambridge. That's the chapel of the Trinity College. That's the round church, very famous landmark at Cambridge. It's staging an event called the Cambridge Story. The Saints and Scholars. Just down the road from Round Church is the Magdalen Street. This is one of the notable features, one of the old Tudor style houses where nothing is straight, but it's still standing up. This is the place from where punting begins at Cambridge. You can see the rows of boats waiting for customers. That's the road down which I came. I'm standing at the site where once stood the Cambridge Castle. Now nothing but the mound remains. That is where I was a few seconds back, and this is where I am now, at the top of the mound, and which gives you a good view of Cambridge. That's the University Law Library. Started drizzling, so I'll make my way down. Somebody coming up as well. That's the Castle Mount. Back to the original place where we started, that's the St. John's Chapel. Inside the St. John's College. That's the view inside the college. This is the Trinity Lane, probably named after the famous college, as it takes you around the college. I've walked down Trinity Lane, which is another entrance to Trinity College. Behind me is the Trinity Lane. On the left hand side are the rooms for the students of Trinity College. Hunting on the river. View of the King's College Chapel. Behind me is the Trinity College. St. John's College, a magnificent view with the college grounds in the foreground. This is the Bridge of Sighs, which connects the old campus, old set of college buildings to the new college buildings of St. John's. Unfortunately, the door right now is locked, so I'll be able to go down that road. That's the Clare College. That's the forecourt. Laughter of students, buzzing, coming back after the holidays, commencement of the new term, excited pupils, eager to learn at these famous colleges. That's the Clare Memorial Court. That's the University College Library that we saw from the Castle Mount. And this is the St. Clair's New Courts, which has the rooms for the students. Closer view of King's College with its magnificent grounds. On the left is the chapel. This is the Clare's Bridge, which is apparently standing there from 1634. Another view of King's College. College buildings. After my lunch, I am once again back in front of King's College. The architecture of this building is simply fabulous. That is what has drawn me here. This is simply marvelous.
The way you do it, you do the base. Three sample what?
In the center court.
Just says
That's the chapel.
They don't do that for other universities, they do that.
I've just stepped inside the Pembroke College. That's the chapel where the inauguration welcome address is to be held. The students and their parents are queuing up inside one of the buildings of Pembroke College. That's another one. It's a huge one. You have a sculpture. Campus extends beyond that gate. You have the quarters. That's the list of professors who stay here. Another view inside the college premises. That is just how old the college is. That is how the college looks from the outside. One can never feel that inside. One can never feel that inside it's so elaborate. It's a virtual world by itself. Inside the Peterhouse College. All these colleges have a similar plan. First there is a courtyard, inner court, and then there is the inner court. That's the chapel. Service is currently in progress. The service of welcome for freshers. View of the meadows, green, and then you have the brown fallen leaves. They look very well.